So welcome to the weekly watch list, guys. First week of the new year. For those of you on YouTube, make sure you click the link in the description so you can join next week's live stream in the Discord with all of us here. When you're in the live, you get to ask questions, talk about concepts that you want once we end the weekly watch list. Definitely worth the value, especially considering that it's free. But let's get right into the weekly watch list. First, we have AAL. I've had this on watch for a while now. Not only airlines as an industry coming along with the stimulus package, but also it has this nice little wedge forming on some lower range charts like the hourly. So if we break this, we could easily see levels as high as like 1650, and then maybe even up to the 18s if we get a larger movement here. Next I have AMD. We've been having some trouble with AMD. That's why I've been sort of staying a little bit more away. It's been going down or selling off a lot more than I would think it would be. But what I do like to see is some more strength returning here. We kept falling, came back up, fell, hit this. We keep hitting this sort of demand zone area. So it looks like, again, that we are bouncing off here. And then if we end up breaking this top black trend line here, that gives us tons of more range to move up to maybe these 93, 94, and possibly even all-time high levels. Next I have Amazon. I gotta go back to the daily on this one. But what I like about Amazon is, well, it's pretty much what everyone else likes. If you have not seen this chart, you're probably not on Fin Twitter, because literally everyone has been posting this chart. What's interesting to see, though, is that we didn't get a full, complete breakout. We actually rejected this top trend line, depending on how you draw it. But we do seem to be finding an area of support here around the 3250s. What's interesting to note, though, that the volume profile for like the area that this wedge is in is at this 3160 level, so it's a little bit below our support. But if we are believing that strength is coming into Amazon and the current trend's going to be sort of shifted, it's almost okay that we're not reaching the bottom of the volume point of control. But what's good to note is we have the support line, so if we start curling, break this top trend line, that's a solid case for a breakout. Otherwise, below this line, we have our point of control as the target. Moving on, we have CCL. We need lower time frames for this one as well. Very, very similar pattern to AAL, which is interesting to note, as they would both move together on, like, you know, economy reopening, anti-coronavirus news. In any case, this is a solid pattern to play, so we are in for some January calls. I might roll those out depending on how this moves, but again, just a nice little solid pattern to play. And even if you want to go more conservative, you could redraw a line down here, and that even gives us some support to play below our initial pattern. Next we have ELAN, just a nice little wedge here. So if we flip on, let's say the weekly chart, you see the same sort of thing, this larger sort of wedge developing, and then wicking the top, but also having some strength. We saw candles fall below off this line, and then Friday, or what was it, Thursday, we had this nice little push back up, and that makes me think that this pattern is close to breaking, because the trend is close to breaking. Usually it hits off the top, comes down, hits off the top, comes down. This time it's hitting off the top and showing a little bit of strength there, so it's interesting to see. Obviously, I'm not really going to play it unless it breaks above Thursday's high a day, which matches up with like the trend line break here. But definitely something to keep note of as we sort of go through this week. Next we have Facebook, another FANG name. I'm liking FANG a lot going into this week. I liked it a lot going into last week. And we see how that did. We've been talking about in the server a lot, waiting for this FANG rebound. And I feel like we finally are starting to see it happen. Even Facebook, we got this nice little wedge here, along with this smaller trend line here that we happen to break, come down, retest. We posted a green candle here. I would have liked to see more strength in this candle. We kind of wicked high, fell low, but that might just be speculation on the new year, rebalancing. Remember everything else that Facebook has to fight as well. So what I'm really looking forward to here is either a hold of this opening level on Thursday and a move up, or come down, retest this smaller trend line, and then start to move up. Someone's mic is open. I'm just going to mute you real quick. Sorry. Alright, and then after Facebook, we also have Futsu. Now, Futsu's been on watch for a while. I actually entered position in my account. I didn't feel like alerting it because I didn't really like the risk-reward on it. I entered around here on the, what is this, the 22nd. off this sort of support line bounce, top trend line. We ended up failing, and I just held it for a little bit longer because I just believe in Futu longer term as a company. So we ended up failing. All right, I'll hold to this little support area we have right here, this 3740. So you have these two candles back here and this consolidation here. We ended up wicking it, coming back up, and ever since then, things been on a tear. I'm actually green on those contracts now. But as far as you guys go, I'm looking for more a hold on this support line here, maybe some consolidation before we get this like second and third leg up all the way up to all-time highs. Next is LVS. Nothing special about this one. We got a wedge. It's poking out a little bit. Looks good. If you want to throw on a smaller time frame, excuse me, wait for the retest and then just play all the upside. That's all you. This looks very, very nice headed into this week. MS looks a lot like the bank names. We're just watching MS sort of reach this consolidation point and hit off this like top sort of resistance area. Consolidating below resistance is bullish, so if we see a break above all-time highs, I think it could be nice for more of a scalp move. Next we have Microsoft here, just very, very simple. It's what we've been seeing, it's what we've had for a long time. Got multiple wedge patterns here, but really what I just like to see is a break, test the next area of resistance, some consolidation, and it's still holding this bottom line. I think we see some nice upside here, definitely. We also caught some unusual flow on our scanner targeting these, what are these again? These 142.50s for February 21st. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this plays out for sure, but again, Microsoft, another larger cap name, I definitely think those do well in the coming weeks. Next we have Neo. We played, I don't know what's going on with my lines there. Anyway, next we have Neo. We played Neo for some nice scalps this week. What I'm really liking to see is this pattern forming on our daily. Definitely would have liked to see more strength on Thursday, but again, you can't really count Thursday as a full day. Last day before the new year, lots of rebalancing, long weekend. So we'll definitely see how it develops this week. If we could get a retest on this line, but a hold of this, what is this, like 47.30 support, then I would definitely be okay with going long, because I'm okay with that risk reward. It's not the safest, but it'd be something I'm okay with holding. So then we have multiple target areas above. Moving on, we have PLTR. What we're seeing with PLTR is just a hold of support here, and then fall, and then a hold of support here. And I want to see how it reacts here, because in reality, you can redraw this bottom line to sort of accompany for this candle here, and then this would be the bottom of our trend here. I got out of my PLTR contracts a while ago, because as you can see, off this top trend line break, we see consolidation below resistance, good. Inside day below resistance, good. We see more consolidation, but it's a red day falling out of our inside day pattern. That's just too much weakness for me, so I'm probably out here. And then we retest and fall through the wedge. That's enough weakness for me to be like, okay, I'm definitely out. And then we failed support here, definitely out. Inside day here was kind of promising, but then we just failed again. So what I'm not liking with PLTR is all the selling going on, so I'm definitely going to give it some time. Wait for a definite curl before I enter in any new positions here. QQQ, again, we're going to save that for the end. Spot's looking good here. Got this nice little demand, this nice little support zone here that we could sort of lever off of. And then this top trend line that we have that if we start to curl, we can knock off this or play this off a break. Again, SPY for the end. Next we have SQ. SQ is purely just a dip buy. We caught these lower levels way down here at like 210 or something. That was crazy. Now we're starting to move up. We also got this double inside day at support. So when we see a break to the upside here, I feel like that's definitely a good time to be entering in a long position. Also, SQ is just one of those companies that I believe in long term. For those of you that have been in the server in a while, I've been talking about this name ever since I think the 60s, I think was when I started buying in. So it's definitely nice to see them getting a lot more recognition. In any case, this looks pretty bullish to me. I have TLT on here too, but again, we're going to cover that at the end. TME, another familiar name. What we're seeing here is that we got this nice little wedge break. It wicked way, way high and then sold off and then kept selling off. but then it came back up, not only back above the wedge, but a back above this little resistance area that we saw here and here. Came up back above that too, so it'll be interesting to see. I would take longs off TME off Thursday's high of day. Looks pretty solid. V looks bullish, but I also wanted to include V in here just to show you just what a beautiful break this was. Nice little wedge here, break, hits our first target area, retests it even, and then massive gap up to break through target price 3. But now what we're also seeing on V is after this all-time high break, we got another consolidation inside day that closed above all-time highs again. Now, it didn't make new all-time highs, no, but this consolidation suggests that we might see a larger move coming rather than just another all-time high break. So this might take some time, or it might break tomorrow, but it's definitely worth keeping above watch over either Thursday's high day, or if you want to be more conservative, you could go back to the 30th's high of day. Again, we also have Zoom on here. Zoom just got this gap to fill below. It might see a support bounce here. And I think actually we will see a support bounce here. Again, just want to wait for this gap to fill, maybe some more consolidation. But above this sort of like 345 line, I feel like it would be good to take some longer trades again. We also have NVIDIA on here. I don't know why this isn't in alphabetical order. Couldn't tell you, but we also have NVIDIA on here. And what we're seeing with NVIDIA is, again, this same triangle. We've been watching this triangle forever. We do start to see like a little bit of strength come in, I guess, but again, we're getting a lot of bounces on this lower sort of area. That's why I took a spread instead of just a full contract, just because there is some more downside risk here. And I'm really watching this top trend line here. If we could break this like top mini trend line, I definitely think we'll see a lot more volume flood in to make us push for the top of the pattern here, and possibly even break above and hit some of these upper price targets as well. And I also have SE on here. SE just has a general picture. We got the wedge break here, the support line here that it worked, and really this could just be treated as a fall off, sell off due to China, sell off due to news, and then come back in. It looks like its technical strength has returned at the very least. So that's all I had for individual names. But now let's cover more broad markets. So we're going to start off with the Qs. Again, the Q's been looking the same. We got this longer trend line from previous all-time highs. Just going to draw it, and it was still above it, still above this sort of support area we got here. Even got the wedge break on that double inside day I was talking about. And now we're just sort of holding these higher levels, and holding them's okay. Again, just watch your longs. I wouldn't get too overexposed right now, just because we're pushing all-time highs. I would never be super exposed at all-time highs, unless it was like an individual company that I did a lot more research into. This broad market, be a little bit more careful as far as like your leveraged positions go, like options. And then SPY, you got this little bit of a rising wedge here. We are sort of poking out the top here. And what we get there is some more consolidation, I guess, above this sort of horizontal resistance here. Some more consolidation there before a move up. Probably the SPY and Qs will look pretty similar going into this week. A lot of sideways action. And then TLT. TLT still looks about the same. It looks like we're finally getting some more breaks here, though. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more volatile movement in TLT. But again, with that comes a lot more volatile movement in our regular stock prices. So I'm going to see how this week plays out. We're going to see how everything plays out. But that is my weekly watch list for our first weekly watch list, actually, of the new year. So again, hope you guys had a great holiday. And I'll see you in the morning for the bell.